Hey everybody, what's happening? It's James back here, closing out another year. Not like it really matters to me so much, but it is the end of the year, and thought I'd show some blues records. I've been listening to a lot of blues lately, although blues always kind of weaves in its way in and out of my listenings. No matter what I'm into, it always creeps back in. It's pretty consistent, and so listen to a lot of blues lately, kind of in that phase. Picked up some few blues records recently, and I don't know, man. Blues doesn't get talked about enough, just in the world in general, and for whatever reason, I don't really quite understand it. But there's a lot of things I don't understand, so I'm not going to try to figure it out. You go to go to record stores, and it seems like the blues section is always, there's no one there. A store could be packed, but the blues section is sort of left alone, and no one's there. So, hey, it's cool with me because I can go there and flip through, and no one's in my way, in a selfish way. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing to find some blues records. Anyway, I'll get into it get away from the preface. So I've been breaking out some stuff. Here's one, Lonnie Johnson. I got a bunch of Lonnie Johnson, and they're all just superb. This is Lonnie Johnson, 1927 and 1932 recordings. The title of this is "Woke Up This Morning, Blues in My Fingers." This is on, what label is this? I don't even know what label this is. It's called the Origin Jazz Library label, out of Santa Monica, California. I don't know when this came out, but it's just Lonnie Johnson on vocals and guitar, like most of his stuff is. Blues isn't often described as beautiful, but Lonnie Johnson, I think, is really beautiful music. He plays a really nice guitar, and I think he influenced a lot of other guitar players. But he has this really sweet, kind of pleading voice. It's not gruff and quote down home as a lot of other acoustic blues, but Lonnie Johnson he's one of the top guys. So if you're not familiar with Lonnie Johnson, check him out. He's amazing. I know that he had a pretty tragic story. He was one of, I think, 12 or 13 kids, and all of his siblings died when he was really, really young. So he had that going on, and he was in and out of the music business. He had to take odd jobs to survive, and would come back and record another album, and he ran through that cycle throughout his life. Lonnie Johnson is that one. Next one is J.B. Lenoir, Alabama Blues. Sorry for that glare. I just picked a bad spot to sit today, but I thought I'd mix it up. This was recorded in 1965. He did some stuff earlier with a full band, like Chicago style. And this one just has Fred Below on drums. Willie Dixon accompanies him on some of the tracks, but it's all very spare here, and really kind of a sweet voice too, not gruff, kind of like Lonnie Johnson. And I think he was known for being overtly political with some of his music. Alabama Blues and a song called Vietnam, for example. So he had a kind of a protest feel to his blues, or to some of it. But this is top shelf stuff here. Alabama Blues. This is on the Bellafon label. I don't know what the original. I don't know if this originally came out on this label or not. Well, no, it didn't. It's a repress from '79. Is when this version came out. Great blues. J.B. Lenoir. He was only 38 when he died. I mean, a lot of those guys died young, unfortunately, due to not just lifestyle, but when they got sick, back then, they just couldn't get the treatment that they deserved, that any human being would deserve, and obviously the medical system was, if you think it's screwed up now, imagine what it was like back then in the in the 50s or 60s when you were black and you were poor. Really tough thing. But yeah, this is a great record. We'll move on here. Here's a recent pickup. Kerry Bell. It's just called Last Night. Not just called Last Night. It's just called Last Night. This is on ABC from '73. There's Kerry Bell on the back. ABC did some great blues records. They kind of get lost in the shuffle sometimes, I think. Even I kind of overlook it too, because it's not like ABC's not like a classic blues label, but some great records came out on that label in the 70s. It's kind of starting in the early 70s. This one has Dave Myers, Willie Smith, Eddie Taylor on guitar, and Joe Perkins. So kind of a Chicago blues kind of a thing. Kerry Bell. Next one, and I haven't even listened to this yet. Got this very recently. This Robert Nighthawk with Houston Stackhouse on Testament. The Testament label, this whole series with these kinds of covers, all of these albums are great. If you find them, pick them up. Chicago style. There's a Johnny Shines. There's a J.B. Hutto. There's a Muddy Waters and Otis Spann. I have like maybe 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, this is all stuff from 1964. You have Little Walter on harmonica, John Young on guitar, and Houston. So it's sort of a mixture of Robert Nighthawk stuff with Houston Stackhouse, sort of a mixture of the two artists on here. The Houston Stackhouse stuff is from '67, and I haven't listened to this yet, but because of Testament, I know it's a name you can trust. It's great series. I mean, this whole label is great, but this particular series is this Master of the Modern Blues series. Really good. With blues, you can't go wrong. There's no such thing as a bad blues album. I mean, even the shittiest blues album is still a good blues album. Here's one fairly recent pickup, Little Brother Montgomery, Deep South Piano. It's just him on vocals and piano. This is on Storyville label right here. This is from recorded in Copenhagen, '72. So Storyville was recording a lot of American artists in Europe, and specifically Copenhagen in the '70s, early '70s. Never had any Little Brother Montgomery, so finally picked one up. He has 1 million albums, and you can find these. And even I overlook blues vocal piano stuff. I have some of it, but I'd like to get more. It's good. I'm not really into like the barrel house stuff, but when it's just sort of kind of slower and not so upbeat, this is great stuff. So yeah, okay. Here's one. Had a great listening to this just about a week ago. The great John Lee Hooker live at the Cafe Go-Go. This is when this come out. God, you know what? I don't even have the year on this. It doesn't say. I want to say it's oh, actually, you know what? It's 1966. And actually, this is on ABC, The Blues Way. To me, this is almost like the definition of blues. I mean, you can say that about a lot of artists or a lot of records, but this thing is so dark and evil with John Lee's voice and that just that sound that he has. It just comes from like it's otherworldly almost. But the standout track on here is "I'm Bad Like Jesse James." I mean, again, just dark and evil. More dark and evil than any metal song could ever be. It puts like Black Sabbath to shame. John Lee Hooker, this is the deal. Get this record, find it if you don't have it. And this has an all-star lineup. You have Muddy Waters on guitar. You actually have a bunch of guitar players on here, although it's never like a full-on. It all feels spare, even though there's a lot of players. You also have Sammy Lawhorn and Luther Johnson on guitar, Otis Spann on piano, Mac Arnold on electric bass, Francis Clay on drums, and George Smith on harmonica. But yeah, this thing is killer. He does a version of his One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer, When My First Wife Left Me, Heartaches and Misery. This is the blues. I mean, if you're gonna have like one blues album like this could be it. Yeah, John Lee Hooker live at the Cafe at Go-Go. Next one, Robert Pete Williams. Robert Pete Williams is always kind of in my rotation. This is, again, going back to like the John Lee Hooker, like Dark and Evil. This isn't Dark and Evil. This is just sad and deep. Robert Pete Williams, if you don't know his story, he was in prison, in Angola prison, for a murder conviction, and then got pardoned at some point, and then started recording again. And I think it was one of the Lomaxes that kind of were involved in getting him out of prison. But this is on Hooli, Those Prison Blues. This is recorded at the Angola State Penitentiary, 1959. Just Robert Pete Williams on vocals and guitar. Songs like Pardon, Denied Again, I'm As Blue As a Man Can Be, I Got the Blues So Bad. Just deep and raw acoustic blues, Robert Pete Williams. This is the kind of thing you just listen to this and you can hear the misery and longing in his voice. It's almost like cathartic for him to sing these songs. Robert Pete Williams on our Hooli, and our Hooli albums are always choice. He's always great to score. Robert Pete Williams. Next is this Andrew Blueblood McMahon called Get My Baby. And this is on the MCM label out of France. This is Chicago Blues. This was recorded live at Mobby's 1976. And this is some of the best electric blues in the universe, right here. These are very hard to find. I ordered this a number of months ago. Had it shipped to me from someone in Europe. But you have Jimmy Dawkins, John Littlejohn, and Larry Burton on here as well, and Candy Utah on drums. This series is incredible, and I wanted to show. I originally got exposed to this series by these CDs in the I want to say the mid '90s. I went to the Santa Cruz Blues Festival, and this guy was selling these CDs, and I just saw him, and Jimmy Dawkins, Magic Slim. Sorry for all that glare. There's another Magic Slim. Hip Langchan, John Littlejohn, and Big Mojo Elam. And that's how I first got exposed to this label. These are all recorded in tiny clubs in Chicago, like mid-70s, 1976. I think they're all 1976, actually. No, actually, some are in the 77. But to me, this is the best electric blues stuff out there. It's my favorite. Dare I say, it's to me, it's. I don't like to compare so much, but just for the sake of it, in terms of just deep, raw, just gruff electric blues, this is the shit. It kind of makes stuff on Chess to me look almost tame. This is the real deal. These are very hard to find on record and on vinyl. And there was this box that came out a few years ago that compiles all these not all these sessions, but a lot of them. And there's a volume 2 of this too. But if you like electric blues, but even if you're not into CDs, get this. this kind of opened my eyes to what electric blues, could be. It's just stripped of the veneer of anything. It's just they're in these tiny clubs, and just playing from the heart. So I mean, I could ramble on about it forever, but it's a great series. Got a few more to go here, and then I'll let you guys go get your holiday activities. Next one is Jimmy Rogers and Left Hand Frank. This is live. Sorry, getting that too much glare. This is live in London, 1979, right there, and this is on the JSP record label. This has a very similar feel to that MCM series stuff that I just showed. Just raw as you can be, in a tiny club, stripped of all pretense, just getting down. Jimmy Rogers and Left Hand Frank. I'm really stoked on this one. Great live electric blues. Curtis Jones. I had this for a long time. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. This is actually a recent pickup. This is Curtis Jones, 1937 and 1941. This is out of Austria on the RST Records label. Just Curtis Jones on vocal and guitar, and some of the tracks have a guitar player. Songs like Decoration Day Blues, War Broke Out in Hell, Mean Old Blues, Too Many Blues, Whirring Away My Heart for You, Blues and Lonesome. The titles say it all. I think Curtis Jones had a record on Prestige. That's the same Curtis Jones. Forgot about that one, but yeah, a couple more to go. This was a recent find, and I didn't know anything about it, but it was intrigued me. It's the week Peps came to Chicago. I'm like, well, what's Peps? And I flip it over, and there's that shot. And you can see this guy Peps Person, and there's Jimmy Dawkins right there. So this is guy Peps Person, a Swedish musician who came to Chicago in 1970, and he ended up doing these sessions with all these blues cats. Look at that. And there's the notes there. This is on the Sonnet label, SONET. You guys, I know you guys all know that label. But some of the musicians that he's playing with here are Sunnyland Slim, Mighty Joe Young, Louis Myers, Dave Myers, Fred Below, Jimmy Dawkins, like I said, he's just one of the most amazing guitar players. And it's a double, so he does a side with four different bands, 4 different sides. Great record. And Peps Person, he plays guitar and harmonica and sings, and he has kind of a gruff, for a Swedish guy, you wouldn't think it by the way he sings. He sounds like he's maybe from Chicago. Really great record. And then the last one I had thrown on is, I know everyone knows this one, or a lot of you guys do, Hound Dog Taylor. Threw this on one night and had a good time about, again, talk about raw. Hound Dog Taylor on Alligator. Natural Boogie, one of his 3 studio albums during his lifetime. That's funny. This one was printed in Canada, of all places. But yeah, that's it. The blues rules, man. Listen to some blues, and go buy some blues. No one's gonna get in your way. So yeah, that's it. Take it easy. All right, later.